What's up, y'all? I'm Miss T. Thank you so much for checking out this episode review of The Little Women of Atlanta. This episode was titled This Means War. So this episode we introduced the Cheeks, left cheek and right cheek, back into the Little Women of Atlanta franchise. They've been gone for a while and they're coming down here to meet with Juicy about a street execs meeting. So the Cheeks are walking into the barbecue, everybody giving them the side eye, like what they doing here. The Tiny Twins throwing shade, talking about here comes the no ass Cheeks, that was good. That was a good one, Tiny Twins. But Juicy is basically explaining, she wants to prep both the Cheeks and the Twins for this meeting with the street execs. They're a popular music firm down in Atlanta. They have some really big acts, and basically she don't want them to be acting the fool in front of these people because they have had prior beef. So the Twins ain't feeling it at all. They don't understand why Juicy would, try to get them to work together, being that they actually got into a physical fight in the past. The Cheeks, they about that bag. They don't care. They ready to work. They ready to do whatever they got to do, to get on. And I think the Twins could do a little bit more maturing in that aspect because, you can't be letting personal things stop your bag. How often do we have to work with co-workers who we don't like? We can't just quit. We just got to deal with it. Abira and Minnie. Abira was on the last season. She's a rapper. She moved down to Atlanta to get her career started. They're meeting in the coffee shop, and Minnie is telling Abira about her podcast that she wants to start. And she wants to focus on females in hip hop. So they're catching up, and Minnie ends up telling Abira about Juicy's meeting with the street execs and how they're looking for an opening act on their tour, and how she had the Twins and the Cheeks meet up, which is, it's kind of questionable. It's kind of shady knowing that Juicy knows their history, but whatever. Abira and Juicy were actually working together. Juicy was managing Abira, and I guess it didn't work out. Abira ended up firing her because she didn't feel that Minnie was taking her seriously. And, Abira is giving the side eye. She like, well, dang, like, why didn't Minnie, hit me up? I got bars out here. And the girl can't rap, she pretty solid. So I'm thinking, of course Minnie didn't hit you up because you fired her. So why would you think she would hit you up? So long story short, Abira ends up talking Minnie into pumping Juicy for information. I don't know why. Minnie and Juicy don't even get along. So I don't know why she thought that was a good idea, but she talks Minnie into it. So she trying to get on with this tour, I guess, girl. Juicy and the Cheeks. Juicy and the Cheeks have a little get together because the Cheeks are questioning what's going on. We came down here to meet with the street execs. Ain't nothing happening yet. And, at the same damn time, they big up in themselves. They trashing the Tiny Twins. I can understand big up in yourself. You want to get yourself out there, make a name for yourself. You trying to secure the bag and make people look at you and pay attention to you, but do you really have to trash other people? They're saying, oh, we got videos out, we got recordings, we ready to work, and all of that is fine, but you don't really have to trash the Twins, It's shady. I guess you got to do it by whatever means necessary when you're trying to get on, but it's shady. Juicy tells the Twins that they are for sure going to meet with the street execs this week. However, Al still isn't convinced about this whole little people as far as a talent and an opening act. So when they do meet up, they're going to have to bring their A game. Next, Juicy and Minnie meet up in Juicy's office. Minnie is ready to have this fake ass conversation with Juicy so she can pump her for information. So Minnie is, she buttering her up. She brown nosing, telling her, since you the queen of Atlanta, you got so much experience in radio. Maybe you can give me some advice on my podcast. And Minnie fall for it. She eating that right on up. She flattered. She starts telling many little things, that she can do for her podcast. And in the midst of that, Minnie trying to slide in questions about the tour, but she got a little overzealous. She asked one too many questions, and Juicy caught on like, oh, she just trying to pump me for information. I see what you doing, girl. So Juicy, being as sharp as she is, she like, well, why don't I just come down to your podcast and critique you? So Minnie, plotting and scheming, she done set herself up for the okie doke. You got to be more careful. Juicy and the Tiny Twins meet up in the pizza shop next. Juicy wants to tell them that they have a meeting with GC of the street execs later that week. However, the Tiny Twins, they questioning Juicy like, y'all, are you trying to set us up for failure? They end up passing on the meeting, which y'all just trying to make a name for yourself. Y'all can't be passing up opportunities. I could understand if y'all was more seasoned in the game. It would be totally understandable why you wouldn't want to put yourself in an awkward situation, but y'all still trying to make a name for yourself. You can't be passing up and messing up y'all bags over a personal problem. So I don't know, that was stupid. I question, like, how bad do the Tiny Twins really want this? Not bad enough if they gonna let the Cheeks stop them. So next, the Cheeks meet up with the street execs in the studio. They play some music for them. They had a song called Run That Check, and it was a little bop or whatever. It was a little bop. And they said, yeah, we think you ready. And they start asking them questions like, do you think that y'all would be ready to go on tour? This is a very demanding type of lifestyle, type of job. I was thinking the same thing because the Cheeks, they got kids. So I don't know how they expect to go on a tour when they got a whole family back at home. But I guess if you want it bad enough, you'll make it happen. And they also tell the Cheeks about the Bring Your Own Beats and how they would want them to perform at the Bring Your Own Beats performance, just so they can see how the crowd receives them. And I'm sure that's got to be intimidating. It's intimidating for an average sized person when they're new. As a little person, I'm sure it's even harder because people are already just looking at your size first. But I guess if you really want it, you'll get out there and get it. So the Tiny Twins, Minnie and Juicy all meet down at the radio station so Juicy can critique her podcast. Minnie is going to be interviewing the Tiny Twins, and she just wants to see how she does. And before Minnie can even get started good, Juicy already throwing curveballs. She interrupts and says, I'm half asleep. And I'm like, girl, like, it's a fine line between shade and just being just flat out nasty. I understand you want to get back at Minnie for trying to pump you for information, but I'm like, come on now. Like, y'all both black women at the end of the day. You should be wanting to see this other woman succeed. We all want to see each other win. And that was just nasty. She gonna get that girl a complex. Whatever, Minnie calls her the queef of Atlanta. That was a good one. That was a good one. So Minnie, since Juicy was throwing all that shade, she decides to get back at Juicy, playing tit for tat as usual. She gonna bring Abira to the performance tonight. And I guess that's probably gonna piss Juicy off since they had that prior beef. Y'all both need to stop. Just stop it. So the Cheeks back in the studio. They're meeting with the producers so they can, see their skills, possibly make a song. And before they even get in the studio good, the Cheeks already hating on the twins. I didn't even see the need to bring them up. I really didn't. But they telling the producers, however, since they came to Atlanta, they done had some haters. And I'm like, The twins made a couple of little snarky comments, but ain't nobody hating on you for real, for real. So because, you know, they've been talking about haters, the producers feel that they have this great song for them. It's called Why You Mad, Sis? And it was a bop. Bree goes in the studio first. They want to see, you know, how she performs this song. And, you know, I think she was probably intimidated. You know, she wasn't really bringing it. And the producers make a comment like, you know, everybody ain't got tone. And I'm like, damn, that's messed up. That's real messed up. But being that the producers have worked with all these great acts, artists, you know, I'm sure it can be really intimidating, you know. So Emily goes in the booth next, you know, she bringing it, you know, she got her little swag going or whatever, and they commend her and they say, I think that y'all are ready to perform and to bring your own beats, you know, performance tonight. And I'm like, dang, like they just got the song, y'all want them to perform, but you know, as an artist, you got to be ready. You got to be ready to perform on the spot because you never know when your next opportunity is going to come. You never know if this is going to be your last opportunity. So good luck. So Juicy meets the Tiny Twins outside of the Bring Your Own Beats performance showcase. And the twins have had a change of heart. I think they've came to their senses. They decide to meet with the street execs. You know, they don't want the Cheeks to stop their bag. So that's what's up. So the Cheeks perform at the BYOB showcase. And I think they did all right. They did all right, considering that they just learned the song that same day and had to go in front of a big crowd of people. It needed a little work, it needed a little energy, but it was cool. So Juicy, the Tiny Twins, and Abira are down in the crowd. The twins and Abira is hating on the Cheeks. Whatever. You know, just making real shady comments. And the twins done got it in their mind that the Cheeks is talking about, you know, talking directly to them in this Why You Mad, Sis song. And I mean, they probably was. They probably was, you know. But it's crazy how people can make things up in their head, you know. The twins got so mad about it. And Abira was hyping them up. She was hyping them up, calling them trash too. And how they need to get in the studio and show them how it's really done. You know, instigating, basically instigating. So the twins done, I don't know, formulated some kind of theory in their mind, which was false. It was totally false. The twins said, well, Juicy must be setting us up and she didn't invite us to the street exec meeting. I'm sitting there like, she came down there twice to invite y'all to the street exec meeting. It's crazy, you know, what be going on in people's minds, you know. So they decide they're not gonna work with Juicy no more. Girls, I guess. Good luck. You know, Juicy is a good connection because she's in radio. She knows a lot of people, and it's hard to meet those important connections, you know, just being able to network as an average person. So I can only imagine as a little person. Y'all about to mess up another opportunity. Whatever. So the final scene, we see the Cheeks have decided to move down to Atlanta full time. They really trying to take this hip hop rapping thing, the street execs tour seriously. So they pack up their kids and move into a new apartment down in Atlanta. And then we find out that Emily is pregnant. And I'm like, girl, Lord, why is somebody always pregnant on this show? But, you know, they getting that action, whatever. But how do you expect to go on a tour when you gonna be getting bigger and bigger? And it might be complications with the pregnancy, just, you know, them being little people, but I guess you gotta follow your dream, whatever. I don't know how that's gonna work out. So y'all, that was Little Women of Atlanta. I'm excited to see what's gonna happen with the twins and the Cheeks in this Little Women of Atlanta hip hop season. So let me know what y'all thought about this episode down in the comments. Be sure to like and subscribe if you like the content, and I will see you next time. Peace.